So today we are going to deep dive into the core concept of a backend developer to create a simple REST API server within 10 minutes while using all we are to talk about the how we handle routes, how we handle multiple routes, get, put, post and everything, and how we can test the APIs in the Postman and how we can do that. So first of all, first thing first, we create a folder where you want to create the project. So Control Shift N, we create a Hono REST API demo. Open this folder in VS Code, and first thing first, let's let's set up our Hono server. So we go directly into Hono.js, Hono Node.js, search Hono Node.js, and go into this. So we just follow one. We are as we are using Node.js, so we are gonna follow the step that mentioned over here. So we just copy this, and you can open the command prompt by hitting Control J and paste this. And as we have already created the folder, so we don't need to create my app. So we just put dot over here, and it will create our Hono server. So we are here creating the Node.js. So we'll choose the Node.js server and hit enter. So as you can see, all the servers required files has been created for us. So we yes, asking do you want to install the project dependency? Yes, we want. Yes, we are using pnpm. It will take not much time, but it will install. Yes, it is completed. So now let's start the server. We just pnpm dev, it will start our server. So to see that, so we are going to in our site and type localhost column 3000. Yeah, now our server is running in our local. So let's find where this code came from. So you can find the src. Under the src folder you can see that there is the index file. And let's discuss what happening here. So we imported the required function over here. One is serve, one is Hono. So we create a Hono app, and we define a route by app.get. This is a get route, and in return we are returning text in a hello Hono. And to start that server, we are using serve function to start that. Then we can modify over here. We hit change here and hit Control S. We can see the real-time changes over here. So we can code one by one. So first we are going to create a new router for our books route. Let's say we have to create a library where we want to update the books and get the book and create a new books. So we first of all we have to create a new router for that. So we use books router new Hono. So then we are going to use books router dot get function. So what he is taking is the route and the context of the function. So we are just returning return c dot text, and to use that, so we are going to use app to initialize that. App dot use slash books book router. So if you want to know about the router, just we can go into this, and in here APIs we can found the routing method. So you can see that we are using group routing to route here, just to use that route books. And if we enter save and we go into slash books, yeah, our books route is available for server. But initially, what in the server, what we is do, we always put API prefix in any API routes. So we gonna hit save and hit API over here, and we need to test the APIs by Postman. So we'll open the Postman. We'll create one API. We'll test one by one. So let's do this in the Postman. Meanwhile, just we need to, as we are using TypeScript, uh, we need to create an interface for to store. Like in book, what does book contains? Book directory does contains. So we need to create that interface. We create an interface for that book interface. What does book does? There's a ID that would be unique for every book. That can be number or string. And after that there will be a name of that book, that be string, and the author name would be string. And for now we are keeping this only name author. And then we are going to define the storage of book, const books, book storage interface, and currently the book storage is empty. So let's create an, we have opened the server. We just need to close the other tabs. So we just hit the localhost over here, localhost 3000 slash API slash books. So we'll open this side by side. Then whenever the API was hit, so this one is to get all the books. So we just need to all the books from our storage. C.json. In JSON we need to pass the book storage. So we hit enter, so it will run our server. So if we hit the book storage, so we have, there is a nothing in our book storage. The empty books, the storage is empty. So we'll get an API slash books. So why is that? Okay, we put wrong port number here. Just say 3000. So we can see there is a nothing in our book storage. So we are going to create another API to store the book. So we create book, the books router dot post. Host router does is to create a new resource in our server. We are using the REST API, so we are going to follow the REST syntax here. So in the query params, we are getting the body from the body. So we are going to get body equal to c dot request dot body. So for now, just checking what we are getting from the body. So we need to create another route, post route, that requires to update the data. So in body, we are going to pass that in the raw file. We are going to pass id equal to 45. Let's say keep one, and name Node.js. Server. So what we are getting here, there is nothing. So that means something has been wrong here. Let's see what are defined in the body. We just need to get the request data, c dot request dot form data. We need to pass as a form data. Just checking that ID while passing. So create a book. We just need to create the. So let's get the data over here as we are passing by JSON. So it can be get by JSON. As simple as that. To get that, we need to put await here. Make this sync. Yeah, now we are getting data from over here. So let's create a. We need to define the type book interface, and we need to create one book, like update our book storage with this book. So we after the created we just send JSON like success true message added to successfully. And we need to store this book storage dot push. Let's check. We create another book over here. It's a true book added story successfully. Then we are going to this all book API. Now we can see there is a book in our server. Now let's create another API to update this book. So we need to update the book details book router dot. For updating we have to use the put, as your put means we are updating a certain fields in the data of book. So we are going to define by id using c book id equal to, we have to get from the param. So there is a called c request dot param id and return. For now, just to check, we have to return the text with id json, build a response object where we are going to send the id. For now, we are just sending the book id. So this method looks like putting a post request on the same route just by adding id. As you can see, we are getting id over here. So now let's find out the books by this id. Const book storage that find dot book id, where book id is okay. So success true and message update successfully. So to get the book data, we need to get from the const we need to get only author and the name from the body. So we gonna need the JSON, same raw JSON. We can here name, new name, new author. Let's update the book, and if there is a book find by that ID, let's check. If book not found, we need to throw the error. C.json false message. This needs to be object. We put an array, so we return this and put status of 404. Let's check. As we have don't book with this ID, so we'll get an error. Yeah, success false. 404 not found. Book not found by the given ID. And let's what happened? We'll create if the book is found. We're going to check if the book is there. Then we are going to update. Yeah, book created by this and all the books. Then we just need to update a book. Book dot name equal to name book author equals to book author. Then update the storage. To update the storage, we need to book storage book storage of book ID. Yeah, book ID will be the integer. We need to parse this into ID. To what we are going to do? Parse int, parse int. Then we can found what the ID is that. Yeah, let's create a book first with ID 1. Book has been generated successfully. We are going to ID 1. Book updated successfully. Then when we are getting the books, we can see the new name will be there. The new name would be there. So we don't need to do this, just to put it there. Create a book and then we'll verify that book was existed. Yeah. Then update that book updated successfully. Then we fetch that book. We can see that there is a new data is updated. Now we want to find only one book by this ID. Let's do one thing. We create another API for this books router dot get dot get by the ID. get book from the book ID. What we are going to do, then we find the book, book storage dot, it will take two params method to equal to dot id equal to book id. Then same gonna for this, if there is a no book, we are going to return the same. If there is a book, then we are going to return the response data is equal to book and the success true. Yeah, now we need to return this c.json response. Now all our REST API was ready. Just need to check first. We need to check there is a no book in our storage. So we'll create a book. Book created. Let's check. We create another book with the ID to Node.js. Create another book. Now the book is already created. Two book is there. We are going to update the book number 1. So we are updating the book number 1. So book number 1 is updated. So you can see that the book number 1 is updated. Now that we created another API to fetch the book. To call this, we need an get request for this API. It will return us the book found successfully and the book data. So this is how we structure the book API. This is how we tested our book API one by one, and let's review the code once again. Control A. We first, let's see what we done. We define a book storage over here, interface, and we define the book storage, and we define a book router to handle all the books routes. So we create a route that gonna return all the books in our storage, and we create a route that is going to store the book in our server, and one API that will going to update. And another one was is to update the book API by finding by the ID. This is we get the name and author from the request, and find that book by the book ID, and this API was to return the only book that they are requesting for, user is requesting for, and we attach book router to this route. So this is how we define routing in our Hono servers under REST API.